Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you exactly how you can generate 30 plus leads a month on Autopilot with using AI, and I'm going to show you exactly step by step how we do it. And you can see right here some proof from a particular client that we've been working with for a while now, and this is how we use AI on Autopilot to generate leads at scale for our clients. Let's jump straight into it. So we're in Clay right now, and in Clay, I'm going to show you exactly how we use AI step by step to create really highly personalized emails that then go out to be able to generate leads completely on Autopilot with a system that will basically send emails for you that are highly personalized and be able to send hundreds, if not thousands of emails a day that are really relevant and really personalized. And this is how we're going to do it. So firstly, where we build our data source. We build our data source predominantly in 2 or 3 different places. Number one is within Clay. Clay basically has access to a database, which is most likely LinkedIn, that we're able to build our data from LinkedIn basically within Clay. Number two, we can use Apollo, so we can scrape from Apollo and we can pull the leads into Clay and then put them through the workflow. Or we can use things like Sales Navigator, or we can use Crunchbase, or whichever other tools that you want to use. But predominantly we use those 2 main ones, which is within Clay or Apollo. Once we've got the lead list of who we want to target, so in this case we're targeting CEOs and founders, we will be able to get all of these data points. The first thing that we do is we obviously try and find their email address, so we just do a very simple email waterfall. I always recommend doing the email waterfall first, because you only want to then actually even find any more information on people that you can actually reach out to. If you start enriching and doing all this stuff, but you don't even know if you've got their email address and can reach out to this person, it tends to be a bit of a waste of time and waste of credits or your API subscription. So I recommend doing the email waterfall first, getting the valid emails. Once you have the valid emails, then to work on any other step, right? So once you have the valid emails, the next thing that we're doing is we need to now verify if the companies that we're reaching out to are a software company or not, right? And this is particularly useful if you're taking this from a database like Apollo, which sometimes can get the categories incorrect. So what we do is we scrape the website, quite literally scrape the first page of the home page of the website. And then what we do is we use AI. So this is, again, now where we're using AI. We create a prompt, right? And in the prompt, we say, analyze the content input here in the body text, right? Which is basically the body text from the scrape of the website, and determine if it has any of the following keywords: demo, book a demo, schedule a call, etc., etc. If they have any of these keywords, then output SaaS. If they don't have any of those keywords, or they have these keywords, then output bad fit, and so on. Now, you could technically do this using a formula, but sometimes I just prefer to do it with AI, and that's what we use in this case. But you could, by all means, do it with a formula where it'll come up with just a check mark and say, yep, this contains this keyword, this does not contain this keyword. So that's how we do it. We run it, and then this will output. Now, one thing to note is we always manually check whenever we're running something, just to make sure that it's correct with the first 10 to 50 rows, and then we'll run it for the rest of the table, right? So now that we know that this is a software company and they contain some of these keywords, then what we're doing is we are normalizing the company name. So again, here we're using AI again to basically format and normalize the company name for when we use it in our outreach. Because the last thing you want to do is reach out to a company and mention the company name and say, hi, Matrix Booking Limited, or would this work for Matrix Booking Limited when you use the company name variable? It just looks a bit silly, right? And especially now, you don't need to do this. Just going to delete this column, don't know why it's running. So here we use AI again, where we go edit column, and you can see here, normalize the company name. This is the prompt that we're using here to fit naturally in this sentence. Made a quick video on how it could help company name. So we're just using this as basically some context for AI, and then I say remove the suffixes, remove limited, LTD, etc., remove any like weird characters or anything, and just normalize it. And then one thing that always helps with AI prompts is to tell it what not to do as well. So do not output anything else, just the name, because sometimes it will output its reasoning and so on, unless you specify what to output specifically and not to output. So again, this is another area where we automate something and the list building process with AI that would have taken ages and ages to do otherwise, right? So this is really simple to do. The next steps are just a few things for this particular campaign where we wanted to know if they were an enterprise company or selling to enterprise buyers or not selling to enterprise buyers. So I'll skip through this section for now. The next thing we do right, is because we're going to be using personalized variables with AI, and I'll show you some examples of those in just a second at the end, and I'm going to show you exact copy that we used as well. We need to start to pull that information. And one of the ways that we do this is we use something called Clayagent. So Clayagent is basically Clay's AI agent that will essentially do multiple different tasks. It can visit a website, it can scrape the information, it can analyze the information, it can do all sorts of different things, and it can do it automatically. You just have to prompt it. So what we do is we now tell it to scrape the website, but this time to provide a summary. So a little bit different to what we did before. That was just a pure scrape of the website and anything that's on the website. But now we ask it to visit the domain URL and output a summary of between 200 to 250 words and just basically tell us, what does this company do, and give me a summary of what this company does in a nicely packaged summary. Because what we're going to now do, and this is again all using AI, what we're now going to do is create the variables based on that information. Because now we have information about what the company does from their website, we're now using multiple different steps to create the personalization that we're then going to use for our emails that is able to generate 30 plus leads a month completely automatically. So I see, and one caveat as well, we could generate a whole lot more leads. We just haven't scaled the campaigns just yet. The ICP description. So part of our copy is we're going to mention who this company is, or the prospect that we want to reach out to, who their potential ICP is, because we want to say, hey, I see that you target these people, this ICP. How about we help you get more of that ICP, basically, or how get more sales with that ICP. So we create a prompt here to basically pull the information from the website summary that we've already used using AI, and we'll analyze the company description and output a 2 to 4 word specific industry customer description that they target. In this case, we want to use British terminology because we're targeting a British market and we don't want it to be like with Z and all that kind of stuff. And then we give it the prefix or context on how it's going to create the output, or like what sentence we want it to be part of, because we need to give it a little bit of structure. So we have lots of rules here, must be 2 to 4 words, not generic terms, abbreviations, and so on and so forth. And if you want to read the whole thing, you can pause the video and have a look, and then we tell it what not to do, and then we give it the input. Now this input is the response from the company description, which is basically here. So if we come over to website summary, this is where it's pulled the response, right? This is the output that it's generated, and it's telling you this is a company that does X, Y, Z and does this, and so on and so forth, right? So it gives you a good description. So now we have the ICP of who they target, and you can see here bus operators, operations leaders, self-storage operators, rail operators. Now we're going to be using that as part of our copy. The next thing that we do is we want to say, and this will make more sense once I've shown you the actual copy, but basically what that company does. So we're essentially saying, hey, we'll help you target these people who are looking for those services that company does. So again, this will make more sense in just a second, but we also have this point of personalization. And then we just sort of normalize it a little bit. Now, the final bit that we do here is AI generated ideas, which I think can look really, really good. And they can be very personalized, and they've worked really well for us, especially over the past 6 months. So feel free to copy it, feel free to steal this whole thing. It's absolutely fine. AI ideas is just essentially, and all credit to Eric Nowoslawski, because I got the idea from him and then we implemented it and it worked really well. So we stick to it and we just create variations of it. This usually works well in the second email. And essentially what we're doing, and we're using Claude for this, because Claude, what we found, tends to write better copy. So we're saying, using the company information, I'd like to create 3 specific outreach and growth strategies that could help the prospecting company. And then we basically give it some rules on what to do. And then we give it some sort of structure and format. One very quick tip as well, by the way, when creating prompts, we actually use AI to create the prompt because it does it in a much more structured format. I'll probably create a separate video on how to do that, but just as a heads up. And then what we do is we give it some examples, what not to do, and then we give it the inputs. Now the inputs are basically the company that we're doing this for, the company summary, and then the company like ICP. And then we basically give it information on the client itself, right? So the information that we give it, we actually copy paste and we take a summary from so what we do, actually, let me just run through this process. We go onto the client's website, we copy paste all of their website material, we'll put it into Claude. We then ask Claude to create a summary in about 100 to 200 words. We then take that summary, put it into a column, in play so that AI can read that column, and then it basically uses it from there, right? And then we're making sure to only run it if there's final valid emails. So that's the whole workflow. Once we've built the whole workflow, it can then run, because all you need to do is add leads to it, and it will run and generate leads completely on autopilot, because it pushes them into instantly, and then it automatically sends them, and each one is completely personalized. So let me show you some like examples from here. So you can see here, first name. Basically, I want to show you the actual. So mind if I share a quick 2-minute video about how Hook, which is the company name, so again, it's normalized, so it's not looking strange or anything like that, could attract more revenue teams who need revenue growth this quarter, right? And again, you can tweak it, you can make it a little bit better if you want to, but I think it's good enough to send, and we're happy with how it looks for the most part. We could, let's, I don't know, click on another one. Fuzzy could attract more car dealerships who need lead engagement this quarter, right? So again, maybe some tweaks that you might want to make to that, for example, but again, most of the time it's usually pretty good. Could attract more enterprise pharmaceutical companies who need supply chain management this quarter, right? So that's like a really good example, and we usually do something like this to make it look just a little bit more human as well, so it looks way less written by AI. So again, you can kind of just get a sense how every single email, we're just putting in the variables, and I'll show you how this looks like here. We're just putting in the variables. So ICP, who need response, and then the who need response part is what they do, right? So again, all of this is being done by AI. All of it is automatic. You're quite literally just adding leads, and it's qualifying them, finding their email addresses, writing the copy or writing parts and snippets of the copy that then can be used to send out these emails. And again, this is all automatic. And if you're interested in having this kind of thing put into your business, installed into your business so that you can generate leads on autopilot itself, then feel free to book in a call below. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.